However much you think it's going to cost twice as much. And however easy you think it's going to be 3 times as hard. So I think, and that's not negative, it's just being prepared.
Welcome to Honest E-Commerce, a podcast dedicated to cutting through the BS and finding actionable advice for online store owners. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and I believe running a direct-to-consumer brand does not have to be complicated or a guessing game. On this podcast, we interview founders and experts who are putting in the work and creating real results. I also share my own insights from running our top Shopify consultancy, Electric Eye. We cut the fluff in favor of facts to help you grow your e-commerce business. Let's get on with the show. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Honest E-Commerce. Today, I'm welcoming to the show Celeste Hilling, the CEO and founder of Skin Authority. Celeste, welcome to the show.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
I am excited to chat. So for those that are unaware, what are the types of products you're bringing to market over there at Skin Authority?
Well, we're a skin health technology company. So yes, we do make skincare, but what we're really all about is really exploring and patenting technologies that are about making you more well through your skin health, focused especially on building your immune resilience.
Absolutely. And I also, because I love Shark Tank, I know how important patents are to building a healthy and thriving business.
It's really interesting, though, when you think about particularly skincare, because, skincare over the years has really been considered a real fluff market, something where it's all on the surface and it's about a lot of hydration and, plumping you up and vampire facials and, all this good stuff. And all that exists. But I think the reality is what we've learned over the last 10 years, in science and in research is all about you being well and being able to have prevention through the role skin and gut play in your health. So I'm excited to see that we can bring some real necessity to taking care of your skin besides it just being considered a vanity.
I love the conversation so far. Already off track, which is the sign of a great interview. Now, all of that learnings that you're making through the research and working with all these extremely smart partners, I'm assuming that just plays into the marketing message and how you communicate with your potential consumers at the end of the day.
Absolutely. I mean, a big part, I used to say that my title CEO was really Chief Evangelist Officer, because I think so much of our messaging as a brand is really how important it is to really protect, one of the most important organs in your body. So education, consumer education is a big part of what we do. But as you shared, making it fun and engaging and little sound bites, that really inspire you to want to be an ambassador for your own skin health. So as a brand, we really are all about just helping you live your best life through loving what you see in the mirror, but also knowing that what you see in the mirror that improves is making you more well at the same time.
Absolutely. Now, take me back in time. Where did the idea for starting this business come from?
Well, the funny part is if you'd asked me, how people have this story like, oh, when I was 3, I knew I wanted to start a skincare company. That was not me. I have a research and technology background, as you'll find, because I am definitely the geek in the room. But sometimes life opens a door for you that you walk through that you didn't know where you should be and you land there. And I think for me, my family had a cancer episode going on. And even though all 3 family members had different forms of cancer, they all 3 were vitamin D deficient. And it turns out that vitamin D deficiency, it occurs in over 98.8% of all people with cancer, 97.1% of everyone who passed away from COVID. If you have anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, eczema, psoriasis, all of those things are related to vitamin D deficiency. And what was funny is I thought you just go in the sun and you make more D, right? That's what we're told. Well, the truth is D is not a vitamin, it's a hormone. And on that journey, as we looked at how to get people I love more sufficient, it turns out that 8 out of 10 of us in the United States are walking around without the hormone in our skin, which is what D is, that's necessary when light hits it to make D. So you can run around naked all day in the sun, but if you don't have that hormone, you're not going to make D. So supplements weren't an answer because supplements you excrete out what you don't use. So they really never make their way to the skin. So your skin never gets what it needs from supplements to make more D when you're in the sun naturally. And natural D is more targeted. All of these benefits of the body knowing how to be preventative and repair that you don't get through supplementation. So, I became really obsessed in working with the immunologists that were working with us for treatment on, well, why can't we just get the skin to make more? What's necessary? Why has no one figured this out? It can't be rocket science. Well, it turns out it is rocket science. It is really hard. But the first product we patented was a topical vitamin D that you could put on your skin that really helped your skin have D when you were in light. It's not a supplement, but it helps your skin make D when you are in light naturally. So it was really one of the first times where people understood that topical application of something could have a benefit beyond a cosmetic benefit. It could really be something that could trigger a response in the body that made you more well. And so that's really where I saw no one taking, and I did. I went to everybody. I went and talked to, you name it in the business, Dr. So-and-so. I won't say all of them, but everyone who has a skincare brand, and said, hey, I don't know how to do this. I really want you guys to do it. There's millions of people who could benefit. And everybody just kind of rolled their eyes and said, nobody cares about that. They just care about lines and wrinkles. They don't care about their wellness. And so I just said, well, I think people like me do. So, I went in with those immunologists who I still work with today and started a company really focused on not only making great technology that helps your body and your immune system through your skin health gear up, but also the education necessary. So, the why, why do you want to do this every day? And what are you going to benefit? And more importantly, now that, people have been out there using it and we have millions of people experiencing it, it's just cool every day for people to say, I not only love what I see, but more importantly, I feel happy. Because when your D levels are up, you're happy. So it's wild to just see how you change people's lives. And for me personally, on my journey, if we can help people prevent getting to a place where my family members were, then I think that's really the goal.
Absolutely. Do you remember what year it was that you started exploring this seriously, to where you were looking for the not the product itself, but for something like that in the market? And then when did you decide to take it on and do it yourself?
Yeah. So in the early 2000s, like 2005, 2006, I really started just looking around the market to see what was there. And I did work with a lot of existing companies out there and started really working directly through some great relationships I had in the medical community, because I was co-chair of an advisory board of a major hospital here in San Diego. So I was able to reach out to that community and start working with cancer patients, really looking at how we could improve their scenario initially. And so obviously we were kind of cobbling together things from different companies, but nothing really worked. Everything was synthetic and on the surface. Nothing was really working down at that health level. And that's really when we decided, if it is to be, it is to me. I got to go make it happen. So we basically started really testing and we were, really lucky to have people who believed in us, who gave us access to their patients and worked with us on that to really begin to trial a lot of these things. But what was great is that, through that journey, you just keep, as you keep plugging away. And I think that this is a message for everyone is, whatever you think however long you think it's going to take twice as long. However much you think it's going to cost twice as much. And however easy you think it's going to be 3 times as hard. So I think, and that's not negative, it's just being prepared, And I think one of the things that we really found is that, when you're doing something new and something innovative and something sort of revolutionary, it's a lonely road because, people don't often understand the concept. There's not someone who came before you. So I think in that way, I wasn't kidding about evangelizing. You kind of have to believe in yourself enough to know you're on the right course and just plug away. And eventually, and over the next 5 years, which is really what it took us not only to evolve our first commercial product, but also to really get the support and truly the endorsements and things we needed to really get out there. And, once that started happening, it became this incredible ride, but I think just making sure you take the time to really think about what it costs to do this. And do you really have the capital to really stay the course in case things don't go the way you plan? And do you have access and network with people who believe in you enough that when you hit a roadblock, you can ask them to help, And I think that was the big lesson for me too, is like, because I'm totally type A and driven and all that good stuff and females always feel like I have to prove everything to everyone. And I think learning to ask for help from those people that they really want to help you and they believe in you and it's not a sign of weakness. And those people have been core to our success.
Do you remember what year it was when the business really started to take shape?
Yeah. So really, I'd say 2011, 2012 were really the first year. So, over 10, 15 years ago. So definitely it took a while to get there, but that's really when we started to embrace. And what happened in those years is that some of the top wellness resorts and destinations, around the country where you go and you stay for 4 days or 5 days and you get analysis and you learn about your health and wellness, started embracing not only our products, but our treatment therapies and bringing us in and exposed us to a world of consumers that were like, wow, not only did I not know all of this, but I'm going to take this home with me and really change my lifestyle in a positive way. And that began a momentum. To be honest, if you look at what's so unique about Skin Authority, we don't do any paid social advertising at all. None. We don't have a PR agency. Our PR agency are our partners, our customers who tell everyone about us. And now we're, all across North America and Europe. So I don't advise to everyone that you do that. But what I am saying is that word of mouth and belief and your ability to deliver a product that really is authentic and has integrity. It's crazy how much your rabid customers will tell everyone else about it.
I have been in business for nearly 20 years, and very few companies I have hired in that time have performed as well as Electric Eye. They have knowledgeable staff, and our project was delivered on time and on budget. Electric Eye has exceeded my expectations, and I look forward to working with them again. That is a direct quote from one of our clients at Electric Eye. Electric Eye is a Shopify Plus partner that has helped over 100 brands migrate, redesign, and optimize their stores since 2016. If you'd like to increase your conversion rate, average order value, and revenue per session, we are the true Shopify experts you've been looking for. Right now, we're offering a free diagnostic to qualified brands that reach out and mention the podcast. Visit electriceye.io today to schedule a call and send us a message. Find out why we have over 50 5-star reviews in the Shopify partner directory. Again, that's electriceye.io, electriceye.io. What if every customer could help grow your brand without you lifting a finger? Social Snowball is the platform that turns word of mouth into a real growth engine for Shopify and TikTok shops. Here's how it works. Every time someone buys from you, Social Snowball can automatically turn that customer into an affiliate, giving them a unique referral link or discount code instantly. They can share it wherever they're already posting. Instagram stories, TikTok videos, YouTube hauls, you name it. You'll be able to track every referral and influencer sale, send commission payouts in 2 clicks, block codes from leaking to coupon sites, automate influencer seeding and gifting, and let affiliates cash out using over 700 payout options. Plus, it works seamlessly with your existing tech stack and channels like Shopify, Klaviyo, PostScript, and your TikTok shop dashboard. The craziest part is they are basically giving away free money. You can launch your affiliate program for free, which shouldn't take longer than a day if you focus, and enjoy a 30-day trial before ever paying for the app. That's right, you can use this software to turn your customers into affiliates for 30 days for free. To take advantage of this offer, go to socialsnowball.io/honest. That's socialsnowball.io/honest. Again, that's socialsnowball.io/honest. Would $1,000 help your business? Portless is giving new customers $1,000 to reinvest back into their business just for getting started. Right now, you are probably paying tariffs on most items in your warehouse before you even make a sale. That means your cash is just sitting there, trapped in inventory that might not even get sold. Not exactly a recipe for growth, right? But what if we told you there's a smarter way? With Portless, you only pay tariffs when an order ships after you've been paid by your customers. That means free up more working capital instantly, turn inventory into cash faster, and completely eliminate the risk of paying tariffs on unsold stock. Here's how it works. Portless helps you ship directly from China to your customers' doorsteps in just 5 to 8 days. Yes, that's exactly what Shein and Temu do, and you can do it too. You get access to your inventory days after manufacturing, keep less stock on hand, and only pay duties on what actually sells. No more guessing games, no more cash flow nightmares, just smarter, faster scaling. And remember, all new Portless customers get $1,000 to reinvest back into their business. Schedule your free strategy call today. Visit portless.com/honest. That's portless.com/honest. One more time, that's portless.com/honest. Shopify makes it easy to sell online, but unlocking streamlined global sales demands more. Don't let high cross-border fees, frustrating payment failures, and complex tax requirements hold back your store's international growth. Activate Reach instead. As a merchant of record, Reach helps high-growth brands like yours optimize global sales with local processing and automated tax compliance, all while protecting your store from fraud. Reach is already integrated with Shopify, so you can activate Reach with no extra dev work and start seeing results fast. Brands like Revolve and Everlane trust Reach to boost international approval rates to over 90% and cut cross-border costs by up to 40%. Expanding globally is just the first step. Optimizing performance is where the growth happens. Book a free, no-obligation consultation today and learn how you can level up your global sales at withreach.com/honest. That's withreach.com/honest. withreach.com/honest. Now, is that kind of the growth strategy at the beginning, was find these wellness centers and events, and basically, if we're going to distill it down for the every man or woman's business, just finding partnered events to be at and get exposure to the products?
Yeah, and I think for me, what was really important is, I'm in an industry, if you look at skin care, you have the Unilevers of the worlds and the Estee Lauders that have, billion-dollar advertising budgets. That's not what we had. We were a shoestring. My credit card was our advertising budget, So I think in lots of ways, what we wanted to do was really find, but we didn't do it just going out and spray and pray. It was really about, look, where are the likely partnerships and collaborations where we find the person, the consumer, who would be ideal for us, who would be interested in their health, their wellness, their appearance, and more importantly, really invest in that. And so we started looking at where those places were. And that was really when it started knocking on doors and saying, look, this is who I am. Here's what we can do. I think that we can help grow your business. And I think the way we can help grow your business is add a whole new dimension that's a lot deeper than what's on the surface. And more importantly, you don't focus on skin because you don't think it matters in wellness, but it does. So and by the way, everybody's buying beauty products. So why aren't you in that game if it also ties to health? So I think, it was one of those things where out of the 100 locations we talked to, 3 were like, yeah, let's do it.
That's the magic number of outreach.
Yeah.
It's 3% are going to probably give you time of day.
It's so true. And I think that's where I was sharing the perseverance and just believing in yourself and just knowing that what's funny is no was just not yet, because of all those people, we're in 80% of those places now that told us no in the beginning. So FOMO's real. When competitors start doing it, they're like, oh crap, we should have probably, opted in. So I think it's been really good, but it's also not just that. I mean, we had a process and we had a way to ensure, and I think that's the biggest learning lesson, is you can't not have an infrastructure. Like, you have to have it. You can't just have a great idea. You can't just have great relationships, because when they bless you with, yeah, I want to do business with you, then you better execute, because the shelf life of that yes is like 6 months to like, what numbers are we producing? Where are we? How many people are booking because of this? Are they rebooking because of this? So I think, that continuing to invest in making sure that we had a really thorough, the right information systems in the back end and ability to measure what our business was doing. We ship products, e-commerce, Shopify, Klaviyo, in the world of everything you need to support e-commerce as well as to support your in-person, in-store brick and mortar, just really understanding how to connect all those dots and building a team that will work really hard at that.
Yeah. And great segue, because my next question was about like, when did e-commerce become more, not necessarily important, but more of a part of the business and growth strategy?
From day one. And I'll say this because even though it was tougher, 15 years ago than now, because the tools weren't as advanced. I mean, Shopify makes it so easy. I'm just using that as an example.
I'm a Shopify fanboy and stockholder, and all the work we do at the agency is Shopify. So I agree. Shopify does make things great.
It makes it a lot easier than like NetSuite, because we have Oracle, we have all that stuff, because there's a lot of sophisticated stuff we do on the back end with manufacturing, logistics and stuff. So we need, the power of an ERP like Oracle and all that. But I think the thing that I'd share is that what's unique, and this is why to your audience, I always say, think about your strengths, but also think about where a need isn't being met, because that might be your best opportunity. And in our world, there was no connection. Like if you go see a doctor, right? You go to a dermatologist, you go to a wellness clinic, you go anywhere, you go to a spa vacation somewhere, and you learn all these cool things, you experience all these cool treatments, and then you go home and you kind of fall off a cliff because there's no arms reaching out from your doctor's office or from that wellness destination, or they may give you some things to take home and read, but they're not following you to your home and reaching out and saying, okay, it's day 42. Are you really taking what we gave you? Are you really using it? If you're not, what issues are you having? How do we help you? So we've done that from day one, called skincare coaching, but we've done that. And we even built our own two-way video platform before Zoom was a thing. When we were doing like we're doing right now, looking at people's skin, talking to them, building that relationship on behalf of our partners. So we were direct to consumer via our partner. So we were doing home delivery, all of those things. So you needed an e-commerce back end in order to put people on subscription and to be able to do all of those things. So we've been doing that for 15 years, even though you could say it's newer in the space over the last 5 to 10 years. I think what's newer is just the ease at which you can change, the ease at which you can be responsive to market changes, because you don't have to have 20 programmers, to do it or whatever. So, and how many amazing tools you can plug in now. But I think, the answer to your question is really, for us, it's always been vital because we want to be where our consumer wants to shop and how they want to shop and how they want to acquire things. And if that's at home, great. If it's at a destination, great. If it's down the street at, Equinox when they're working out, because we're in locations like that too. We want to be able to be where they are and meet them where they are and deliver to that. And e-commerce is a huge part of supporting that.
Now, the name of the show is Honest E-commerce. So looking back on the history of the brand, are there any, mistakes that come to mind or, just learnings that you want our listeners to know? Be like, hey, maybe don't do this.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. And yes. And yes. I would say that I wish I had, the truck bed with all the dollars that I spent on things that didn't work. Right. But I think you're not growing and you're not evolving if you're not trying things that fail. Because the truth is, if everything's working and nothing's a challenge, then you're pretty much just stay in status quo, because, and that's what I say, if you're comfortable in your brand, you might want to look around because, there's always someone new nipping at your heels. There's always customers that want something new and beautiful. You can't just sit there. So I think the three things I would say is, one, I know when you're self-funded, sometimes you think, wow, can I really invest in this? But the most important thing you can invest in are great people to be on your team with you, and invest in those people. Don't be afraid to pay them to be there and fill your team with things you are really bad Because if you bring people great on, I'm not talking about 100 people, two amazing team members that fill a gap that you don't know well are so worth their money and your success. So spend on that. The second part, because you will get an ROI on that. The second part is really looking at, marketing is expensive and things that you need to do, but a piece of gold under a leaf is just that. It's under the leaf. No one knows it's there. So, you do have to build your brand, but you can be really creative. And collaborations today are pretty much a standard. So reaching out to someone bigger, better, stronger than you and saying, hey, I'd love to collaborate. And here's what I bring. I bring something fresh, something new, maybe some new eyeballs that aren't your traditional person, but this is what we can do together. And here's what I bring to the party. That's amazing because you can leverage a halo effect of their brand and that your association with that brand. And it doesn't cost you what it might cost doing it on your own. And the last part is, you might have to extend yourself sometimes. And that means taking risk and doing things that aren't. So my message is, I wish I would have invested earlier in, really building our brand awareness through the collaborations that we did, because I wasn't sure. To be honest, I didn't maybe have the confidence that I could get the attention of those brands. And so I didn't even approach them sometimes, and shame on me because now I know and I approach them every day now. The second part is, I have surrounded myself with great people, and that is something I will never regret investing in because they've lifted this ship up in a way that I would not have been able to do alone, and actually helped me persevere and also gain a lot of knowledge that I didn't have, which I love. Our advisors, I've invited people to be our advisors who are so smart and so experienced, and I don't pay them to do that, but I do give them credit, for everything they do with us and the visibility of that. And I reward them in other ways for sure, products and all kinds of things, but, and visibility and engagement with our partners and open doors too for them in reverse. So, but really having good brains around you. And I wish I would have done all that sooner. But I'm glad I did it, but just looking back. And the last thing I'd share, mistakes, those are sort of what I call mistakes by waiting. And then the last thing is sometimes you got to trust your gut. When it comes to things like paid advertising, when it comes to things where you just want to follow what everyone else is doing because everyone else is doing it, and you don't trust yourself to be educated, so you invest in consulting that's going to tell you, we're going to give you 1x ad spend. Well, 1x ad spend, we guarantee 1x. That just means you're just making back what you spent. You're not growing. You're not generating revenue. So knowing your brand voice, because those people can only be successful if you never, I guess the mistake is never delegate strategy. You can delegate anything else, but never the strategy of your brand, because no one knows it better than you do. And consumers know when it's not your voice. They know it. And so I think making sure that whatever you're doing to advertise and market is speaking the language of the people that want to buy from you and isn't a copy of someone else. Because if it's just a copy of another brand, you copy everything they do. Well, who are you? And who are you to them? So I think that's what I learned. I spent so much money doing that and ineffective advertising, things that just because I just took the direction everyone else was taking. And so it's working for them, it must work for me. And I think what I learned is I pulled back on all of that, did a deep dive and analysis of where we were and just said, hey, who do we want to be? Who are we? And who are we not? Honest. You want honest? It's who we're not. Because not everyone's your customer. And so I think we quit trying to court someone that isn't our customer. And we put everything into the people that are. And that's when we became a rocket ship.
Love the honesty there. Now, Celeste, you talked about how much passion you had for the products and how much thought and love went into, building this business. If I'm listening to this and I'm curious about the products themselves and I want to go check them out, where should I go? What should I do? How can I find them?
Oh, you're so sweet. So skinauthority.com is the first place you can check us out, but you can also find us and you can go to our locator. But if there are beautiful wellness partners, everyone from Carillon Wellness in Miami to Canyon Ranch across the country and their different wellness resorts to beautiful, independent, amazing skin professionals across the U.S. We have over 18,000 licensed professionals using our products and treatments, selling our products to their clients. So you definitely can find us anywhere across the country, but you can also attend our master classes. You can sign up and get points for educating yourself and knowing all about it. But really my favorite is 2 technologies that we've developed that I think every person needs. Obviously, I started this conversation with D because you need D to make D. So if you're not using a topical D3 Plus from Skin Authority, then you need to be, because that's my passion warrior of keeping you well and building up your immune resilience. And oh, by the way, when you're D sufficient, 72% of your dermis is collagen. So you're going to look like you had injections and super full and gorgeous, but you're also going to be healthy. The second thing is something called Skin Suit. So Skin Suit's like a space suit for your skin, because you and I right now, all of us learned long ago the importance of wearing sunscreen, but only 1 out of 4 of us wear sunscreen on a daily basis. And if we do, it's on our face. And so skin cancer this year is it is experienced by more people than the top 5 cancers combined. And what's crazy about that statistic is that it's the one cancer you can see. So none of your other cancers you can see. So this one is the one that should be the one we master. So we don't wear it because we don't like how it feels in most cases. So Skin Suit, when you put it on, it just feels like you're wearing nothing. And it's a reef safe SPF 50, but it also blocks all the digital and wireless suns. And we're bathing under those every day. And the rays of blue light and infrared radiation and wireless technology are 10 times the length of a sun ray. But we don't think about it that way because we don't see them. But if we could see them, we'd get out of them. So the reality is it's not going to go away. I love technology just like you do. We use it extensively in what we do in development. But wearing a shield, a space suit to shield you so that environmental radiation does not affect your organs and doesn't affect your health and damage how you look in a mirror are super important. So Skin Suit for everybody, daily dose of D.
Awesome. Celeste, thank you so much for coming on our show and sharing all of those amazing insights.
Well, thank you for having me, and good luck to everyone out there. Just remember, stay the course. It's important.
We can't thank our guests enough for coming on the show and sharing their knowledge and journey with us. We've got a lot to think about and potentially add into our own businesses. You can find all the links in the show notes. You can subscribe to the newsletter at honestecommerce.co to get each episode delivered right into your inbox. If you're enjoying this content, consider leaving a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. Lastly, if you're a store owner looking for an amazing partner to help you get your Shopify store to the next level, reach out to Electric Eye at electriceye.io/connect. Until next time.